another Sunnah Followers exclusive, Not One of Us, written by Sheikh Muhammad S. Adli, broken down and brought to you by host lailanasheeba. Join us every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, right here on Sunnah Followers.
This is how the book looks. It says, Not One of Us. It has a door with a light, and the other doors are closed. And it's right, it's gray. This is the book at www.atleonline.com. That's the address, www.atleonline.com. And let's look at the hadith for tonight's discussion. And you can screenshot it. This is the whole page. So go ahead and screenshot it. This is for the kids out there. We have this hadith, which is narrated by Ibn Masud. He tells us that the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, said, kill all snakes, because whoever fears their revenge is not one of us. Now, let me tell you a little bit of the story behind this hadith. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us that the jinn, they are another creation of Allah. They are part of the unseen world. We cannot see them, but they can see us. And also, the jinn have an ability that we don't have as humans. They can take on the appearance of an ugly person or an ugly animal and appear before us in that disguise. And they can actually harm us. And one of the appearances that the snakes can take on is that the jinn can take on is that of a snake or a reptile. In fact, any reptile, any creature from the reptile family, the jinn can take on that appearance. And also the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us that there's a particular snake, and he described it. And by the way, though that type of snake does not live in America, it lives in the desert of Saudi Arabia. He said, if you come home and find that type of snake in your house, leave for 3 days. Because it could be a jinn, one of the good jinn. And if you leave for 3 days, it'll find its way out of the house. But if you come back after 3 days and you find it there, then kill it. Because it's one of the evil jinn out to hurt you. And that hadith goes with this one. He said, in fact, kill all snakes that you see like that. Because if you fear killing them, thinking that those jinn in turn will come seeking revenge from you, then you are not one of us. Because as Muslims, we fear nothing and no one but Allah. So that's the whole hadith. The Prophet is speaking about how, because when he told the companions about how there's a jinn that takes on that form, and he described it, some of them said, well, if it's a jinn, I'm not going to want to kill it. I'm going to be afraid of it. It might come back and hurt me, or its people might hurt me. And that's when the Prophet said, anyone who fears the revenge of a snake or any jinn is not one of us. So I hope I explained that hadith. And that hadith brings a lot of lessons. For example, at the beginning of Islam, not the beginning of Islam, but at the beginning of his mission, the Prophet commanded all snakes to be killed. because they all could have been harmful to us. Because those kind, not the kind we have here in America, the garden snakes, but all those snakes with fangs were harmful for the Arabs in the desert. But then he rescinded that. He rescinded that command and said, only kill the certain kind. Okay? He later forbade people from killing the domestic snakes, except the two kinds that I described to you a few minutes ago. And they're found in the deserts of Saudi Arabia, not here in America. So this hadith does not mean if you find a garden snake in your house, you kill it. No, the garden snakes are not harmful. They can't even bite you and harm you. It's not talking about the kind of snakes that we have here. Okay, it's talking about these two kinds, like the cobra and this other kind. The cobra is one and this other kind. All right. And again, we learned that we have to give a 3-day warning to that snake if you find it in your house. And leave, because it could be a jinn, a good jinn who got lost or trapped in your house. Giving it a 3-day warning will allow it to get out. But if you come back and find it in there, still kill it. Because if you don't harm it, it's going to harm you. So that's the hadith for tonight. It's not that complicated to understand. And like I said, for those of us living here in America, you don't have to worry about it because we don't have those two kinds of snakes here. You know, they're in the desert. They live in the desert part of Arabia and places over there, not here in our part of the world. So, but for those of you living in that part of the world, they know what snakes they are. So, but we don't go around just killing all snakes, only that kind. All right. Okay. Any questions about this hadith? Let me put the screen up. Any questions?
I have a question, Sister Layla.
Yes.
On that hadith, I thought it was, I heard that, well, I don't want to say I heard, but anyway, it was a part that says, say, Assalamu alaikum 3 times. And then if it doesn't move, then you leave it alone or something like that.
No.
So you don't say, so
You
how
just
would you
leave it. The authentic hadith is you don't say nothing. You leave it there for 3 days.
Okay.
Yeah. Why you going to give it salam? You think it's going to salam you back? Is it going to say wa alaikum salam to you?
No,
We don't
but
talk
that's what they
just to
say.
talk. Well,
It just leave. It'll just leave on its own.
Right.
Okay.
Just like they say when you go home, you're supposed to give salam to the air because the angels might hear you. That's ignorance too. Islam is common sense. What are you giving salams to? Something that can't communicate to you? No. Leave it for 3 days and then it'll leave. If it's not, doesn't leave, then it's one of the evil jinn, you know, that's in your home to try to harm you or to hurt you. But you don't give it no salam, it ain't gonna salam you back.
So there's no hadith that says when you open your door, you say Bismillah and then you give salam so the jinns can come out? That is crazy.
Does that make any sense to you? I want y'all to remember Islam appeals to the common sense of man. I mean, y'all, a lot of times when people come and tell y'all stuff like that, you should be able to just say, to be able to recognize it's ignorance, because Allah ain't stupid. Why would Allah tell you to talk to people? We can't even talk to the dead because the dead don't see us or hear us. So do you think Allah is going to tell you to talk to the air? Hi, Assalamu alaikum. How y'all doing? Do we talk to the, are we crazy? No, that's not what the hadith says. Can any of my students remember what the hadith does say? Norto, Melion, do y'all remember what the authentic hadith says to do when you come home?
It says when you enter the home and there's people present, you greet the people. And if no one's there, there's no point because there's
that's
no one
the
in the
hadith.
house.
Now, which one makes sense, precious? The prophet said, whenever you come home, Greet the people that's in the house so that they know that you're there and so that no one will harm you. That's the authentic hadith. Doesn't that make sense?
Oh yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. That's why we have to learn the religion correctly. The Prophet, in fact, Allah even says it in the Quran. Allah says, you know, when you come home, let the people know ahead of time so that way the women can, that's another hadith too, so that the women can prepare themselves and the people know that you're coming so nobody gets hurt. You come home in the middle of the night, I'm thinking you breaking in, I'm gonna shoot you. Okay, Allah says send word ahead to let them know that you're coming home at night. And then Allah says, do not, when you enter your homes, the verse in the Quran is, when you enter your homes, greet the inhabitants. That's what the word says in the Quran. Greet the people who live there, who are in there, so that they know that you're home. Nowhere does Allah say when you enter into a room, give salams because the angels might be in there to greet you or whatever this dumb stuff is they tell y'all. That's the difference between Sufism and the Sunnah. A lot of the Sufis come up with all these weird hadiths about mysticism. They're into mysticism and they make up stuff about angels and the soul and all this nonsense that's not authentic. But no, we don't greet the air. We only give salams to the people that's here. If I come in my house, who am I giving salams to? I ain't got nobody in here. I ain't crazy. I don't see dead people and I don't talk to dead people. Yeah.
Sister Layla, don't you say Bismillah too for any jinns that follows you home?
Isn't that something different?
Okay.
Is that about greeting people in the house?
No.
And when do you say Bismillah?
When you step through the door.
Nope. When do you say Bismillah, Meleon?
Right before you put the key in the door.
Before you enter, exactly. That's why I tell y'all, words are everything. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, before you enter your home, mention the name of Allah. And that way, if any jinn may have followed you, it will have no place to sleep. It will have nothing to eat. But the key is to mention Allah's name before you enter. What's the point in mentioning it after I'm in there? That's too late. It done came in. Common sense.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot that part, but thank you. Because
Yeah.
I didn't know when put your key in the door.
Not
but
key, it says before you enter.
Yeah, I do it before I enter. I always do
That's
it, but I was just
before
okay.
you enter. Some people don't have a key. They just open the door. Yeah. Before you enter. Yeah, that's why I tell y'all, pay attention to the wording when we're dealing with the hadiths and the Quran, because, you know, we're Americans. Them reading comprehension skills are getting worse. Any teacher will tell you. I don't know what's going on with the public schools, man, but it's getting worse from what I heard. They're not teaching reading comprehension skills. You got to read the words. Before and after are opposites. Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah. Teach that to your kids too, to mention Allah's name before they enter the house, and when they come home to come and find you. Assalamu alaikum, Mom. I'm home. That's what the Prophet would do. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam would announce himself. When he went to visit his wives, he would say, Assalamu alaikum, I'm home. So they would know that he's in the house, that this ain't no Quraysh trying to attack them. You know what I'm saying? This ain't nobody done broke in getting ready to try to kill you and rape you. Announce yourself to the people in the home. It doesn't say nothing about announcing yourself to no angel. You can't see the angels. Might not be no angels in your house. Some of people got some nasty homes. Them dreadlocks too. Oh, by the way, guys, I meant to tell you before we end, I was looking at, is Brother Ahmad here? Brother Ahmad?
Yeah.
You see all the hits you got on your dreadlock videos now?
Yes, I saw it.
And I deleted a lot of comments. Boy, these people are angry. Boy,
Yes, I've seen a lot of comments, like negative comments.
Yeah, I just leave them there for me to see, and I deleted them all. I didn't put them on there, you know, because I think you looking at the comment section, because they shouldn't be able to write them there unless I allow them, because I got all comments cut off. But subhanAllah, these people are angry about their dreadlocks, guys. People love it. I even had one person write, I am from the Caribbean and I take offense at you. I'm Caribbean. This person said, I am a Caribbean Muslim. First of all, what's a Caribbean Muslim? They said, I'm a Caribbean Muslim and I think you're racist and I take offense at you talking about my dreadlocks. This is my culture. First of all, there's no such thing as a Caribbean Muslim. There's only one kind of Muslim, and that's a Muslim. I don't care where you from. It's a Muslim. And like I said, even though I gave these people the evidence from Allah and the Prophet, they are upset. That just shows how Muslims don't have allegiance. Our allegiance is supposed to be to Allah, to the Prophet, and to the religion, not to your culture. But most of the comments were people from Jamaica, people from the Caribbean. They called me racist. Oh, all kind of stuff. I'm like, these people love they nasty dreadlocks. And we'll just see who's the racist on the day of judgment, you know. Well, those people got offended behind that dreadlock stuff. But it's the truth. The truth hurts. There's no pretty way of presenting the truth. It's a tough pill to swallow. You know? All right. Any other questions or comments?